You were taught to be a fountain. You were told to be a source of endless patience, a source of boundless tolerance, a source of infinite second chances for everyone. You were told that to be a good person, you must give your time. You must give your energy freely to anyone who asks for it. You must be a sanctuary for people who are struggling. You must be a listening ear for those who complain. You must be a safe harbor for every ship caught in a storm. You believe that your ability to be patient is a measure of your virtue. You feel a quiet, secret pride in your power to absorb the bad moods of others. You take pride in your skill at handling difficult people. You are proud of being the bigger person in every fight. You have made yourself into a public resource, a kind of emotional utility company, available for everyone to use, day or night. And you believe this makes you a good person, but your well is running dry. The noble idea of infinite patience is a beautiful and destructive lie. It is a form of slow-motion suicide. Your patience is not infinite. Your attention is not infinite. Your emotional energy is not a boundless ocean. These things are your life force. They are a finite, precious well of water in the center of your soul. And by offering a drink to every single person who passes by, to every thirsty stranger, you are draining your own well to the last drop. You are leaving nothing for your own journey. The ancient Stoics were not saints floating on clouds. They were deeply practical people. They were strategists of the soul. They knew that true compassion is not about giving endlessly to everyone. It is about giving wisely to the deserving. It is about understanding that your first, most sacred duty is to guard your own well. Why? Because an empty well is of no use to anyone, including yourself. Today, you will learn the forbidden art of Stoic discernment, the art of a special kind of compassion, a ruthless compassion. It is the art of choosing who is worthy of your water and who must be left to find their own river. Look at your own life with total honesty. Be an accountant of your own energy. Where does it all go? Think of the energy vampires in your life. We all have them. The friend who only calls you to complain for an hour, but never once asks how you are. The family member who is a constant storm of drama, always expecting you to come and clean up the emotional wreckage. The coworker who sits at their desk sighing, radiating negativity, pulling the mood of the entire room down. You listen to them. You give them advice they never take. You absorb their complaints. You feel their anxiety as if it were your own. And after every single one of these talks, you hang up the phone or you walk away and you feel a little emptier, a little weaker, a little more tired. The light inside you feels a little dimmer. You believe you are being a good friend. You believe you are being a good son or daughter. You believe you are being a good person. You are not. You are being a host for a parasite. You have mistaken their dependency on you for your own importance. You have confused their endless neediness with your own value as a person. You have been taught that setting a boundary, that saying no, is an act of cruelty. But the Stoics knew the truth. To allow a person to drain you is not kind. To enable their weakness, to support their lack of self-reliance, that is the real cruelty. You are not helping them grow. You are just watering their weeds. This addiction to being the patient one is a deep psychological program. It is often rooted in a childhood fear, a fear of being seen as unkind, a fear of being abandoned if you are no longer useful to others. To overwrite this old bad program, we must first see its flawed logic. It is built upon three great crumbling pillars. They are the lies that keep you giving away your power. They keep you feeling empty. We will now demolish them, one by one. The first pillar is the lie that everyone deserves your time. This is the great myth of our modern world. We are told that all people are created equal. We have twisted this to mean that all demands on our attention are equally important. This is a catastrophic mistake in your life strategy. Your attention is your most valuable asset. It is the one thing you can never get back. It is more valuable than your money. You can always earn more money. You can never earn more time. To give your attention away to anyone who asks, without thinking, is like handing out your life savings to every stranger on the street. It is not an act of generosity. It is an act of total self-destruction. A wise person knows their wealth, and they invest it carefully. Your attention is your greatest wealth. The Stoic practices a form of mental triage. This is what doctors do in an emergency room. They quickly decide who needs help the most. The Stoic understands that the world is full of noise, and their task is to find the signal. Some people, some conversations, are a signal. They are full of value. They are enriching. They challenge you to be better. They build you up. But many, many others are just noise. They are the endless complaints, the pointless gossip, the manufactured drama. They are a constant tax on your life force. The wise person's first duty is to learn to tell the difference between the two, and they must be ruthless in cutting out the noise from their life. Only then can they focus all their energy on the signal that truly matters. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. Sometimes the foolish thing to do is to walk away from a conversation that everyone else is having. The stupid thing is to refuse to give your opinion on the latest pointless drama. This is not foolishness. This is the deep wisdom of a person who knows the true value of their own mind. The second pillar of this prison is the lie that your patience is a virtue. You believe that your ability to tolerate difficult people is a sign of your goodness. You think your skill at handling draining or disrespectful people makes you a better person. You see it as a kind of spiritual test, a sign of your enlightened soul. It is not. It is a failure to do your most important job. Your most important job is to protect your own mind. Your mind is like a garden. You are the only gardener. You are responsible for what you allow to grow there. Every moment you spend listening to a chronic complainer, you are allowing them to come into your garden and plant weeds of negativity. Every time you engage in a pointless argument with a manipulator, you are allowing them to poison your water. A wise gardener is ruthless about weeding their garden. This is not an act of anger against the weeds. It is an act of love for the garden itself. The gardener knows that to let the weeds grow is to choke the life out of the flowers. This is the essence of ruthless compassion. The compassion is for the health and beauty of your own inner world. The ruthlessness is in the defense of that world against things that would harm it. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. When you are always craving the feeling of being the patient one, you are poor. Your need for this identity makes you a slave. You are a slave to the very people who are destroying your garden. When you find your richness in the health and strength of your own mind, you become free. You can then choose to share the fruits of that garden. You can share your wisdom. You can share your calm. You can share your genuine strength. But you share it as a free gift, not as a desperate payment for approval. This is a radical act of self-ownership. It requires you to stop being a public park, open to all, and to start being a private, walled garden. If you are ready to become the guardian of your own mind, then you must acknowledge this choice. Go to the comments right now. Make a simple, powerful declaration. Write, "I am the gardener." This is your commitment to yourself. A promise to start pulling the weeds. Now, let us learn the final, most important tool for this sacred work. The third pillar of the myth is the lie that setting a boundary is an attack. You are afraid to say the word no. You are afraid to say, "I cannot talk about this right now." You are afraid to say, "I will not allow you to speak to me that way." You fear that these words are like swords. You fear they will wound the other person. You fear they will damage the relationship. The Stoic knows that a boundary is not a sword. A boundary is a shield. It is not an act of aggression. It is an act of pure defense. It is not designed to harm the other person. It is designed to protect your own inner peace, your own sanity. And here's the hard truth. A person who gets angry at your shield is a person who is planning to attack you. Your shield did not create the conflict. It simply revealed the conflict that was already there. This is the hardest lesson to learn. True kindness is not the same as being nice. True kindness sometimes requires you to be the strong one. It requires you to be willing to be unpopular for a moment, all to maintain the health of your own soul and even the health of the relationship. To allow someone to continually disrespect you is not kind. To allow them to drain you is not kind. To allow them to treat you poorly is not kind. It is enabling. You are silently teaching them that their bad behavior is acceptable. You are, in a strange way, helping them to become a worse person. The truly compassionate act, the ruthlessly compassionate act, is to hold the boundary. It is to say, no. It is to refuse to play their game of dysfunction. This may feel cruel in the moment. The other person will likely get angry. They may call you selfish. They may accuse you of being unkind. But you are not acting for their short-term comfort. You are acting for their long-term growth and for your own survival. You are the one person in their life who is willing to hold up a mirror to their behavior. Not with anger, but with a simple, solid, unmovable line. This is the cruelest, and therefore the kindest, thing you can possibly do. Now we arrive at the great, liberating secret, the final reframing that will redefine your role in the lives of everyone you care about. You have been taught that the opposite of being kind to everyone is being a selfish person. This is the false choice that has kept you a prisoner, a servant to the needs of others. The opposite of being endlessly available is not being selfish. The opposite of being endlessly available is being strategically generous. It is the deep understanding that your resources are limited. Therefore, they must be invested, not just spent. They must be invested, or they will produce the greatest good for you and for the world. It is the shift from being a leaky bucket, giving a few drops of dirty water to everyone, and ending up empty. It is becoming a deep, protected well of clean water. From this well, you can then choose, with wisdom and with purpose, to give a full, life-giving drink to the few who are truly thirsty and who are truly worthy of the gift. Now, we move from deconstruction to construction, from the empty fountain to the deep well. 3 practical, simple Stoic rituals to break your addiction to being nice. 3 rituals to begin the great work of practicing ruthless, strategic compassion. The first ritual, the energy audit. For 1 full week, you will become a ruthless accountant of your own energy. At the end of each day, you will take a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. You will write down the 3 conversations or interactions that drained you the most. You will not judge them. You will just identify them with cold clarity. Who were they with? What was the topic? Was it complaining? Was it drama? Was it a pointless argument? At the end of the week, you will look at your list. You will see the patterns. You will see who and what is poisoning your garden. This is your weeds list. Your mission over the next month is to begin slowly and strategically to reduce the time and energy you give to these sources. This is your first act of gardening. The second ritual, the compassionate no. Your next task is to practice saying no without the poison of guilt. You will learn a simple, powerful Stoic formula. The formula is, I cannot do that, but I wish you the best. That is it. You do not give a long, fake excuse. You do not lie about being busy. You simply state your limit clearly. I cannot. And then you offer genuine, but detached, goodwill. I wish you the best. Practice this on small, low-stakes requests first. A salesperson on the phone. A distant acquaintance asking for a favor. This phrase is your shield. It protects your boundary while still being an act of peace, not of war. It is an honest and respectful refusal. The third ritual, the art of the unmoved. The next time someone tries to pull you into their personal storm, their drama, their complaint, their panic, you will practice being a mountain. You will listen. You will nod. But you will not absorb their emotion. You will not take on their anxiety. You will not offer frantic solutions. You will simply be a calm, quiet, massive presence. You will let their storm of emotion crash against your stillness. You can say simple, validating things like, "That sounds very difficult," but you will not join them in their chaos. You are a mountain. The storm that is raging around you is not your storm. This is the ultimate act of ruthless compassion. You are offering them the greatest gift you have, the gift of your own unshakable peace. That is far more valuable than your frantic, useless advice. You are not the world's savior. You are the gardener of your own soul. The constant, draining demand for your endless patience was the poison. The quiet, disciplined, and sometimes ruthless protection of your own peace is the cure. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you distant. Let them call you unkind. You are not responsible for their reaction to your boundaries. You are only responsible for the health and well-being of your own garden. And only from a garden that is truly thriving can you offer a genuinely life-giving flower to the world. The garden is now yours to protect. If you are ready to continue this sacred and difficult work, to become the guardian of your own energy, then subscribe to the Stoic Citadel. This is not a place for public fountains. It is a training ground for deep, private well springs. Go to the comments and declare your new, sacred, and powerful duty. Write, "I am the gardener." Your training continues. You have learned how to protect your garden from the demands of others. Now, you must learn to protect it from the demands of your own inner critic. Your next briefing is on the screen now. Click it to learn how to turn the weeds you find inside your own garden into your most powerful assets.